Today in the studio, folks, I've got a real treat for you. And I say that with all seriousness because, well, Chante Knox is here. Chante, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Now, if you guys don't know who she is, that's because most people would know her better as CJ Ryder. Is that right?
That is correct.
Morning radio producer, inventor, author, coach, a lot of different things.
Yep.
Entrepreneur, I would say.
Yes. Multifaceted.
Multifaceted entrepreneur. Now, the book she wrote is called How to Eat a Banana.
Yes.
It's gotten quite the publicity.
Yeah.
And it's a book basically teaching women how to save their marriage and or save their man or keep their man.
It's a book on how to suck dick, but it's more so about mindset. Showing women how to change their mindset with regards to pleasing their man. So
that's right.
Yeah.
So, and the book's taken off. Like people are buying it and reading it and loving it. And
yeah, it's organic. Like it's had a kind of like a snowball avalanche effect. It just took off on its own.
Now, if you guys want to follow her, you can find her on social media at I am CJ Ryder. Ryder spelled with a Y. CJ Ryder. Okay. Now, I know that like most people would talk to you about, you know, your book, which I also will talk about. However, I want to talk about more your story from entrepreneurship because you're like an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I think it's just beginning. Yeah.
Well, no. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. Like in grade school, I was selling candy in the lunchroom. My grandma was the candy lady. So I used to take candy from the table where we had it set up in the kitchen, and I used to sell it at the lunch table. So it's just been that way. We used to have fish fries. We stayed down the street from the stadium. So when they had Braves games, we had T-shirts that were printed. And it's maybe giving away my age. We did T-shirts during Freaknik. We used to sell T-shirts out of the trunk of my mom's car. So entrepreneurship is just kind of like instilled in me.
Good. Now your mom's sitting here on the couch too.
Yep. And that was her trunk that we sold those Freaknik T-shirts from.
We probably should have mic'd her up as well. I wanted to ask, you know, again, I mean, a book about how to give oral pleasure.
Yes.
Or suck dick. You can say it however
you want to say it.
You know, that's a little controversial, I would say. Are you getting any kind of hatred on the internet with the?
No, I am not. And the thing is, I think that society tries to make sex taboo, but we are sexual creatures. We're sexual beings. We wouldn't have sex organs that are extremely pleasing to touch and feel if we weren't supposed to enjoy it. Like, it wouldn't feel so good. Sex would just be a way to procreate, but it feels good. So why don't we embrace it? You know? It's
we do, don't we?
I definitely do.
I don't know anyone that doesn't.
But no, they make it seem taboo. Like if a woman is embracing her sexuality, then she has to be a whore or a slut, or you get what I'm saying? It's just so taboo in society.
No, I'm just joking.
But it's not. It's not.
That ain't true.
So
I don't
it's like, learn how to be the best for your partner. Like, you want to be the best that he's ever had.
You know the difference between a bitch and a slut?
What's the difference?
Bitch will fuck anyone. And no, a slut will fuck anyone. Mm-hmm. And a bitch will fuck anyone but you.
I thought that was a whore and a bitch. But okay.
Slut, whore, same thing, right?
Well, no, because I teach women to be slutty for their men, to be his own personal nasty slut. Like, I'm like, there's nothing a man wants than his faithful woman.
That's right.
To be his nasty, slutty whore. But it's just for him.
Yeah.
Not for everybody.
You ever get afraid that you might cause a divorce? Because like if someone's wife came home and all of a sudden could frickin' gobble the goo 1,000 times better, they'd be thinking, well, who the fuck taught you that?
No, I think if that happens, then they should be like, I took CJ Ryder's class. I read her book. I took the masterclass, and it was to please you. Like, I think he should congratulate her.
And ultimately, like you said, a lot of it's teaching them about mindset.
Yeah.
Because there's women who don't like that.
Exactly.
And they don't like to do it.
Exactly. And so it's not about learning the best techniques. It's about learning to change your mindset and how you approach it. Like, oral pleasure isn't about doing a task or a chore or doing something begrudgingly for him. It's about learning to enjoy it and looking at it differently. Like, you're not doing him a favor. He's doing you a favor by allowing you to suck his dick.
Yes, we are.
He's allowing you to bring him pleasure with your mouth. So it's like you have to change your mindset and how you approach it. And
does your popularity grow by word of mouth?
And it actually did, by word of mouth.
So how did you get into all this? I mean, one day you must have decided, hey, I could make money doing this.
Well, I needed money. Okay, so part of my hustle, whatever, I was really raised by the streets. So I decided that I wanted to live a completely legit and legal life. And I enrolled in college at Georgia State. And I watched this, something Oprah did. I don't know if it was on my Instagram or anything, but she said, if you could find a job doing what you love, find your passion, then it wouldn't be like work. So I'm like, well, what do you really love doing? And not that. And it was talking. It's finding information and sharing it with others. So I was like, if I could get paid to talk, that would be the perfect job in the world. So I enrolled at Georgia State. I tried to get an internship with radio, and they wouldn't let you intern unless you were a student in college. And at this time I was like 34, 35. So I enrolled at Georgia State, and I applied for the internship at Streets 94.5.
Well, how old are you?
I'm 40. Hold on. How am I? I'm 44.
No kidding.
I turned 44 yesterday.
You guys don't look you guys don't look old enough.
Yeah, when I call it, I'm 45 or 25 forever. But yeah,
45. I get that. That's funny.
But so I enrolled at Georgia State, and I was determined. I was like, I'm not going back to stripping. I'm not going to be a stripper anymore. I'm going to figure out how to do everything I want to do legally, because my ex, he was a drug dealer. And so we had like legal troubles and all this stuff going on. And I was like, I want to live a completely legit, above, you know what I'm saying, above board life. And at that time when I was doing the internship, I wasn't really making any money because I was working for free as an intern. So I was struggling to make ends meet. I was driving Uber, I was driving Lyft. I was really trying to do everything I could to keep me and my daughter afloat. And
where's your ex now?
He's somewhere in the world doing the same thing. He just wouldn't change. We were together for a very, very long time. And I always tried to encourage him because he was so intelligent and musically inclined, but he just has this love for the street. So I told him, I was like, you know, if they had dope boy for life in the dictionary, they would have your picture, you know what I'm saying? Your picture by it, because you just refuse to change. So I didn't want to be a part of that life. And working at the radio station, I had interns and I had coworkers that would always ask me questions about relationships and about how to do different things. And so one day, one of my coworkers, she was having some issues with her dude. She was like, he wants me to give him head all the time, and I don't like it. I hate it. And I talked to her. We had this really long talk, and I told her some things to do. And she came back the next week, and she was like, girl, I did everything you said, and he is a changed man. She was like, he's doing everything that I asked. She was like, I don't have to nag. I was like, yeah, that's what happens, you know, when you follow instructions and when you treat it like it's something you love, when you fall in love with his dick instead of acting like it's a chore, like washing the dishes or cleaning the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then she told another person and another person. So now we're having these meetings in the conference room during our breaks, and everybody's asking me about how to please their men in bed, not just orally, but just because it's like,
well, what made you the expert?
Well, because I really take intimacy seriously. Like, I don't think you should be doing it if you're not pleased too. I don't like when I'm making love to someone, it's a full body experience. It's a full immersion type thing. I'm all the way in it. I'm not in my head. I'm doing what pleases me, what feels good to me. I'm not worried about pleasing him, because if it's pleasing to me and it feels good to me, most likely it's pleasing him. You know what I'm saying? It's pleasing to him too. So it's about letting go of your inhibitions and being, and I like to be the nastiest bitch my man knows. So, and I was like, you have to let go, because you're not doing it for everybody. You're doing it for your man. And that's what he wants. Like, if he's going out, getting it somewhere else, it's because he didn't feel like he could share his desires with you, because he thinks he's going to be judged. So you have to be that safe space for him to be free to explore and to feel comfortable with desires that may be taboo. And so that's kind of what I share with them. Like, it's not just about techniques. It's about how you approach a subject.
So if there's a dude listening, I'm going to go both sides, dude and girl. Yeah. So there's a dude listening. He wants more from his wife. What should he do? He should let her know. And the thing is, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So, in letting her know, it's not, hey, babe, I don't like our sex life or whatever. It's like, hey, I like when we do this, but I would like to try this, or I would like to do this even more. Yeah, but if it's his wife, they've already done it. She's just tired of doing it. From what I hear, wedding cake causes that. Really? Well, I think in those type of situations, she was faking it till she made it. She was like, I just got to keep fucking him long enough to get him to commit. And then it's done. And they probably don't enjoy each other sexually. Or sometimes I think when women have kids, family life and all those things go into it, bodies change. And then women start to feel self-conscious about their boobs. Because like, after I had my daughter, my boobs turned into wind socks. It's like they went from saluting the sun to praying to bowing down. So I was really self-conscious about it. But my current guy, he loves them. Like, he loves my wind socks. So it's just like being comfortable in your own body. And I think you have to be with a partner that makes you comfortable. So yeah, I think if you're having problems in the bedroom with your significant other, you guys have to create a safe space to talk to each other, to really, really communicate about what it is you want and what you expect, without feeling like it's gonna hurt their feelings or they're gonna judge you. Well, you know the saying, what? Fucking leads to kissing. Yeah. Fucking leads to kissing. I've never heard that. Yeah, that's funny. Kissing leads to fucking. Yeah, it's the other way around. Fucking leads to kissing. You start having sex with them, then you end up falling in love with them. That's when you kiss. Oh, don't you think kissing is more intimate than fucking? Yes, kissing is more intimate than just fucking. Yeah, so fucking leads to kissing. Then you're hooked. But my question was, how does a guy get more oral pleasure from his girl? Okay, yeah, because there's girls that don't necessarily like doing it. Right. I mean, I hear all kinds of horror stories like, oh yeah. I mean, I've literally been out with couples and they're joking that, yeah, right. Like they only get it on like never special holidays. Yeah. And again, it's like, if I'm listening to this, I'm like, well, how do I get my girl to do more? Well, when she does do it, okay. So just as okay. You remember, number one, wash your balls. Yes, really. Manscape. Wash your balls in your ass. Manscape. But I liken it to Pavlov's theory. So you reward good behavior instead of complaining about the bad behavior. So it's the same thing with men as it is with women. If on the times that she does do it, you have to go above and beyond to let her know how much you appreciated it. Not just, all right, thanks. This is the one time I'm going to get it in a month or in the year or whatever. Go above and beyond and do something really, really nice for her after she does it. Such as? If she likes nice gifts, buy her a nice gift. If she likes spas or to be taken out or a massage, or she wants to spend more time with you, give her something that she really loves and wants and ask you for all the time.
but you can't necessarily give her all the time. You have to give her something that's out of the ordinary that she really wants. Not just something that you guys always do.
Do you tell her that's why you're getting this?
No. You never
You say, thanks, baby, for last night. Here you go.
No. You do it immediately, and you say, you know what? I really enjoyed myself last night. We had such a great time. I want to do this for you. And that, like, just like in Pavlov's theory, it kind of rewards the good behavior. So they start to associate doing something good for you to receiving something good from you. And that's the way that I teach the women as well. So it's like, don't nag your man, don't curse him out. Just reward him when he does the really good stuff and correct him gently when he does something you don't like. Like, you don't have to keep telling him. He's not a kid. He's not your child. You're not his mother. So it's like, if he does something you don't like, let him know, acknowledge it. But when he does something you really, really like, show him with your mouth.
That'll get a lot of people, rewarded.
Yes,
sure.
Rewarded. If she likes that from you, do it. But if you're always doing it, even when she's not doing the stuff you want, then it's nothing spectacular.
Well, that's kind of like making someone understand a different perspective, where that's almost like a superpower.
It is.
Like, if women embrace it and properly use it, they can get anything they want.
It is. And the thing is, most women don't like doing it because they're unsure of if they're doing it right. They don't know how to do it. And so when you don't know how to do something, you don't really want to do it.
Well, some say it's because it makes their jaws hurt.
That's because they're doing it wrong. Yeah.
Okay.
That's good. And if your jaws hurt,
personally, I don't think there's a wrong way to do it myself.
Well, no. If your jaws hurt, that means you're sucking too hard. It's like you have to start off like soft, like sucking water through a large straw. It didn't take that much. You just have to make sure your lips are really, really firm and wet.
But there's no way to do it wrong, is there? Like, my dad said the worst blowjob he ever got was wonderful.
There's a way you can do it wrong. If you're doing it like you're sucking a thick milkshake through a thin straw, now your jaws are tired and you're not going to be able to finish, and you're both left disappointed. Or if you're using your teeth, you don't know how to cover your teeth up. You're going to scrape him, and he's probably going to tell you to stop. He doesn't even mind that you're not doing it that often because you don't know what the hell you're doing. So I think when women figure out how to do it right, and they figure out the power that the mouth yields when it comes to pleasing your partner, then they will enjoy doing it more. So it's like, the better you are at a thing, the more you like doing it. And the more you like doing it, the better you get at a thing. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you travel around now teaching women.
Well, it was pre-COVID.
Do you ever get dudes in there, gay dudes in there?
No, because the thing, and I should probably open it up to gay dudes. I never even thought about that. But when I started it, it was just advice for women. It was just advice for women. And when I did the seminars, no guys were allowed because women are kind of shy when it comes to men.
That's your dude blowing you up.
No, that's my daughter. Women are kind of shy when it comes to talking about oral pleasure when men are around. So even if it's a gay dude, they don't want to get that uninhibited around men. So I didn't want to hinder the workshops by having men there. So it was just all women. We'd have some wine or some hard liquor, whatever was available at the venue, and we'd loosen up and start conversation. And then I'd go into telling them, these are the things that need to be done.
Now, you plan on doing this full time here on out?
No, that's why I'm doing this masterclass, so women can enroll in Ryders University and get this instruction. They can pull me up on their screens and get this instruction anytime, because I'm really busy. I have so many other ventures going on. It's kind of, I wouldn't say impossible, but it would be really challenging to do the seminars right now. Maybe later, though.
But what if you get really, really known for this? Do you think that will affect any other business interests that you have?
No. I mean, at first, my advisors, when I was at Georgia State, and we were entering these business competitions because I am a patented inventor working on other projects as well. They thought that it wasn't a good idea to marry CJ Ryder and Chante Knox. They were like, we don't want these people at these Catholic universities to know that you wrote this book. I'm like, well, how the hell do you think they got here? Somebody's mama sucked dick. You get what I'm saying? So now that part is done and I'm not applying for grants from Catholic universities and more women are, I guess, okay with their sexuality and expressing their sexual needs, I think it's fine. I think it's going to be okay.
So you said there was a contest they didn't want to associate it. What was that contest for?
It was the eFest competition, and it was funded by the founder of Best Buy, Dick Schultz. And it was a competition. It's a business competition where a lot of colleges come together and compete with real life business ideas. We were up against, I think it was Yale, the Army College, MIT. Like, there were some really, really heavy hitters there. And I was the representative for Georgia State. And I swept the competition. Actually, they never had anybody come in and win all 3 parts. Like, they have it set up in 3 different parts of the competition where you win 20,000 here, then you win 40,000 here, and then you win 75,000 in these different competitions. And I swept. I ate all of them.
What was the invention or?
Oh, so my company is called Deliver Her. It's like a special delivery just for her. And I created a new absorbent menstrual cup for use by women during their cycle as an alternative to tampons. And I had been trying to bring the product to market, and this competition was a way for me to raise the funds or the capital for me to complete the prototyping, because I knew that it worked, but I didn't have a prototype that could be created by a machine. I had been creating the prototypes in my kitchen, at the kitchen table, putting it together. So I was like, I want to find a manufacturer that can manufacture this product, mass produce it, so that I can provide women with the same type of confidence that I have during my cycle. Like, not many women wear white during their cycle because they're afraid of leaks. And that's because all of the products that are currently on the market are subpar. And we just accept them because that's what's available. Nobody knows that there's something else available. So women settle for the subpar products and just prepare themselves for leaks. So usually they'll wear dark colors. And me and my business partner, Dia, we made it a point to wear white during the competition. And our tagline was like, carry on like you're not on. It's like, you get what I'm saying? Like, we can wear white. We can do all the activities that you would do if you weren't on your cycle, because the cup, it actually occupies the same space as a contraceptive diaphragm. And it sits directly underneath the cervix where the fluids come from when you're menstruating. And it leaves the vaginal canal completely open. So you can enjoy intercourse during that time without worrying about the red light, because nothing comes out. So it was like, when we did the competition, I was on my cycle, and I think me and Dia synced up because she came on her cycle too. And I was like, Dia, are you ready for this? Because she wasn't wearing the cup. I was wearing the cup, but she wears pads. So I was like, are you sure you want to go up there and do the whole competition like that? And she was like, yeah. So instead of her wearing the pad, she put on a cup, because I was like, I'm not comfortable with you wearing white and saying, representing the cups and you wearing a pad, because there's a possibility that you'll leak, and that's going to kill it for us in this competition. So
you insert it?
Yeah, you insert it just like a contraceptive diaphragm. You probably don't even know what that is.
No, easy. I mean, I know what it is. I've never seen one inserted.
But yeah, it goes inside the vagina, and it sits underneath the cervix, right behind the pubic bone. But
now, are these out for sale?
They aren't, but we are manufacturing them, and they will be available at the end of the year. My manufacturer just got this high frequency machine. I don't even know what that is, but it means that they can mass produce the cups. So we finally got to a level where we can produce the cups on a machine. Like, because I told them, I was like, we have to be able to produce them like they do Band-Aids. Band-Aids, it takes 4 machines to make a Band-Aid, like the latex layer, then the absorbent layer, then the sticky part, and then the wrapping. It's 4 different machines that do that. So I was like, we'll probably have that same process. And that's what they've developed. So I'm super excited about that.
Is there any kind of approvals needed from government?
Actually, with the FDA, menstrual cups became exempt in 2015. So that was a hurdle at first prior to me receiving my patent, because I tried to submit it to Procter & Gamble, to Kimberly-Clark, to Johnson & Johnson. Those are the top tampon manufacturers. And I was like, hey, I have this great product that's better than tampons. And they were like, go away. It's like, they weren't interested in it. And I can get it because it costs more to make a cup than it does to make a tampon. So they're like, I have a system that already works. Why would I invest in your product that's going to kill the system that I already have? But it's like, to provide better protection for women all over the world. Don't you want us to carry on like we're not on? So yeah.
So it says inventor. That's what you invented, or is there other things you also
invented? No, I invented that.
How did you think of that?
Well, I thought of that when I was a stripper. Okay, so I learned of menstrual cups during my time as a dancer, and I used to call myself a shoe model. When people used to ask what I did when I was a stripper, they was like, well, what do you do? I was like, I'm a shoe model. And I say that because we took off everything except our shoes. So it's like, I model shoes.
That's funny.
When I was at the strip club, one day I got my cycle early, and I didn't have any tampons because I would still dance when I was on my cycle. I just put a tampon on. And I asked a friend for a tampon, and she was like, I don't use tampons, I use cups. And I was like, and at this time I had never even heard of a menstrual cup. I didn't know what they were. And I was like, what the hell is a cup? And in my head, I was thinking like of a teacup or something. I'm like, I'm not walking around holding a cup, down there. What? Like, no. And she was like, no, silly, they go inside. So she gave me a cup and she told me how to use it. And I wore it, and I was amazed because I have a heavy cycle. I could only wear a tampon, even a super plus tampon, for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I had to jet to the bathroom to change it to make sure I wasn't going to leak. So I was able, and I used to get to work at the strip club like around midnight, and the club closes at 4. So I was able to complete my 4-hour shift without having to worry about leaking. Like, I really forgot about I wasn't leaking. It wasn't like I had to jet to the bathroom. But the thing was, once I went to remove the cup, it was like a scene from Carrie, like a horror movie. I was like, this bitch set me up. She didn't tell me that, blood was going to be everywhere. So it spilled. And instead of getting mad about it, I was like, if these things absorb, they would be the perfect period protection. Like, they would be perfect. And so I started researching the founder of the company. And the cup that I was using was the Instead soft cup. It was the only disposable cup, but it was messy. Like, to remove it, it was just messy. So I liked the collection capacity, but I hated the fact that it didn't absorb. So I started looking for ways to make it absorbent. So I went to Walmart and I tried like jumbo cotton balls, but it was too bulky. I tried the mini cotton balls, but they didn't absorb enough. And then my mom, she owns a home health care business. So she had like wound dressings and stuff. And I was like, Mom, I need some wound dressings. So I put those in. They didn't absorb right. And then one day I was on the aisle in Walmart, and the flat compressed circular cotton pads that you use to take makeup off, I put those in, and that worked really good for a while. I was like, okay, these work. So once I got to that stage, I contacted David Pike, who was the president of the Instead company at the time. And I was like, hey, I found a way to make your cups better. I was like, if they absorb, you guys would be number one. I was like, the reason why it's not taking off and women aren't buying your cups is because they're messy. And he was like, go away. It was like, he wasn't interested. He was like, no, we make non-absorbent products. Like, this is our niche. And I was like, huh. So when I started researching prior art patent work, it was like everybody who makes cups, they try to stay away from absorbent. And everybody who makes the absorbent products, they're not focused on collection capacity. So I was like, we had a disconnect with collection capacity, and absorbent. I'm like, the only reason women use tampons is because they absorb the mess. We don't want to deal with the messiness of our cycle, but we hate tampons. But they're the only things that absorb. So with the cups, the collection capacity is like 3 times as much as a tampon. So you can actually literally put it in the morning and go about your 9 to 5 or your day for up to 12 hours without worrying about your period. And that's why the tag, carry on like you're not on. And then I got locked up in like, what was it, 2015 or 16? And when I was in jail, I met this girl who was a prostitute. And she told me, she was like, my pimp makes me fuck 365, 24/7. And I was like, even on your period? I was like, well, how does that work? Because like, aren't guys like, turned off when you're on your cycle? And she was like, oh no, I use a sponge. And I was like, a sponge? And she was like, yeah, the wedge sponges that you use for makeup? So I was like, I was on a Walmart aisle in the right area. I just didn't find the right product. And she was like, I just put 2 of those in there and it absorbs everything. They never even know. I was like, what? So when I got out, I was like, hey, I found the perfect absorbent material, because the cotton pads, they worked, but when they absorb the fluid, they expand. So it makes it a little bulky and difficult to remove, which is okay for me because I'm like, it works. But I was like, I need an absorbent material that absorbs and doesn't expand that much when it absorbs. And those sponges, they collect so much fluid and they barely expand. And that's how we got to where we are now. And
it's patented?
Yes, it's patented. It's 3 times patent. I have 2 utility patents and 1 design patent on it.
So are you raising money for that?
I haven't started raising any money. I've been bootlegging it, so to speak. I was doing competitions and grants. I've received a number of grants and competitions. And now with the manufacturer that we're with, I've just funded it myself. So maybe I don't know if I even need to raise any funds for it. Like, we've gotten so far.
If that thing takes off, that could make you a zillionaire.
Yeah. Yeah. So I may be interested. I mean, I'm open. Send me a proposal.
How come you call it carrying on while you're not on? Why don't you say something like no leaky freaky?
No leaky freaky. Well, that would be a way, I guess, to introduce it to sex workers or people in the industry. I was thinking that a way to market it would be to porn stars or also women in the military when they're deployed and they're overseas. I was like, I couldn't imagine being on the battlefield and having to change my tampon. Like, what do? You're in the bush hiding. Where you gonna go?
Well, you wouldn't.
Right.
You'd just go ahead and bleed.
Exactly. That'd be horrible.
But I mean, that sounds like something. If it solves a problem, it sounds like you're a problem solver.
Yes, that is it. I am the problem. I'm the remedy. I am the problem solver. That, like, my mind, like, I acknowledge problems. I think because I've been through so much adversity in my entire life, like from childhood up into adulthood, I've been through a lot of things, had a lot of traumatizing life experiences. But I think the reason why I still have like a childlike wonderment with the world and such a sunny disposition is because I never focus on the problem. I acknowledge the problem, and then my mind immediately looks for a way to fix it. Like, okay, well, what would you like instead? So I really am the problem solver.
Yeah, I do that. I think a lot of successful people do that. I think if more people did that, they would have more success.
Exactly.
Most people avoid problems when they should treat them like puzzles.
Exactly.
It's kind of like dick sucking.
Exactly.
It's like women don't like it. It's like women don't like it, so they don't get the power of it.
Right.
To where when it comes to solving problems, most people avoid them rather than face them.
Right.
And all you have to do to change that mindset is to realize that if you want to make $1 million, just solve 1 million problems or one big one.
One big problem that affects 1 million people.
There you go.
And the reason that women do not like it is because, well, no, their mindset is they looking at it like they're doing him a favor. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm doing you a favor by sucking your dick. But that's just like somebody giving you a gift reluctantly and then throwing it in your face. Nobody wants that. Like, don't even do it. You get what I'm saying? So you have to change your approach, change your perspective.
So reading that book would give somebody this mindset. Where do they get that book?
They can get it on Amazon. It's on Kindle. It's on Apple, iTunes.
Do you have an Audible version?
Yes. And I got a British voice actor to do it. She's so sexy. I tried to do it, but my voice is kind of high pitched and but I got it and she sounds so good. I can listen to her all day.
Interesting. And it's called How to Eat a Banana.
How to Eat a Banana.
I don't know how many female listeners I have. I know I have, so supposedly 30% of my listeners are female, 70% are male. So I'm trying to, obviously this is for the girls. This is for the girls. Didn't want to leave you guys hanging.
Ladies, if you want your man to do exactly what you say every time, and you don't have to nag him, you want to get the book and just follow the instructions. Trust me. Like, what's it going to hurt you to try it out? Try it out and prove me wrong. Say what?
Turns them into putty.
Turns silly putty. In your hand. Silly putty.
They do whatever you tell them.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
What if they don't?
That I've never had that experience. I could show you my DMs with testimonials from these women. She's like, I got this man calling Jesus' name.
Say that again.
I was like, I can show you text messages and DMs from women. She's like, I got this man calling Jesus' name. Like they come back and they're like, this is like, you can even go on Amazon and look at the reviews. Like it's a game changer because it's approaching it from a different perspective. It's changing your mindset. It's not just about technique or doing some special tricks. Because the thing is
there some of that in there?
There's techniques. There are techniques in there. There are techniques in there. There are special tricks in there. And when I did my seminars, I guarantee, this was the one guarantee that I gave. Every woman would know how to deep throat by the time they left.
What if there's like, is there any challenges with size differences? What if it's abnormally large?
There are challenges with size differences. So, and with mouth sizes, because some women have little bitty mouths. It's more so about your energy when you're doing it. Like if you're happy, excited, slutty and nasty, it's you're so much saliva and you're enjoying it and you're sucking his dick like it's the last supper, like it's the best meal you ever had. He's going to be excited about it. It's going to turn him on. You have to talk to him like it's a mind thing. It's more mental than it is physical. So if you're excited about it and you're enjoying it, you're talking nasty to him, you're talking dirty, and he really sees that you're enjoying it. You're enjoying yourself by pleasing him. It's going to turn him on even more. And that's the mindset that I show women to embrace. So it's more so not even about technique. Because even if you can't get the whole thing in your mouth and you can't swallow the whole thing, there are techniques. You can stroke it and suck the head and he'll still climax. And the thing is, once he climax, you got to suck every single drop of cum out of that bitch. Dang. Every single drop.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the key. Like don't stop when he's coming and be like, ew, that's nasty. No. Devour it, swallow it all, and then show him like, Daddy, I'm finished.
Wow.
All gone.
Is that
show him that you tasted it, you loved it, and it's all gone.
Even if you don't?
No, you're gonna swallow it. I mean,
even if you don't like it.
Even if you so you can grow to like it. But if you don't like it, then there's a trick that you can do too. So you can hold it in your mouth and allow him to finish in your mouth and continue to suck, and then just slowly let it drool down his shaft and stroke it more.
Dang, I don't know about that.
Yeah, you can because he likes it to be sloppy and nasty, so it's messy. You've already drooled so much saliva on him already, or had so much lube, but you allow it to drool down. It's not like you spit it on him. You just allow it to slowly dribble out of your mouth. He won't know the difference. He'll be there, damn near comatose.
Dang. So the in-person classes are going to be coming to a stop. You're creating a interactive.
Well, they came to a stop when COVID hit. I couldn't travel and do the classes anymore. So then it was like, okay, do you want to do webinars? Do you want to do things? Because in the classes, I actually showed women how to deep throat. I demonstrated on the dildos, and I went around and I checked everybody's posture and was like, are you enjoying it? Are you worshipful? Are you worshiping his dick? Like, are you happy when you're doing it? Are you grateful that he's letting you suck his dick? Like, to help them embody the mindset. So I was like, I don't know if I'd be comfortable doing that on camera for people to start making memes of me and have them floating around the internet. So I was like, well, how can I still present this to women? And then that's when I found LightSpeed VT, and they helped me create this masterclass where I could give this knowledge to women without becoming a meme.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now, do you sell gift cards? No.
I don't, but that may be a good idea.
Yeah, we do have a customer that sells his VT on Amazon through gift cards.
Dope. I think we could marry. I think I like that.
You can put it with the book.
Yeah.
So wherever the book is, boom.
Yeah, the book is on Amazon.
Offer the masterclass. Perfect.
Let's run it. That would be great.
Now, before I go, the listeners, I'm sure, want to know, like, where's the website for the school, for the university, Ryder University?
It's myryders.com. So the masterclass with LightSpeed VT has not completed yet. It will be connected there.
Yeah, but you're doing a pre-launch.
I'm doing a pre-launch. Oh, yeah. So they can find it on myryders.com.
Myryders.com.
Ryders with a Y. Yes.
Myryders.com, folks.
Yes.
Just for the 30% listening.
Yes.
You know, I wish the 70% were women, because I think,
But I think, too, no, because like at the seminars, men would send their wives.
Yeah, but how would a wife feel if the man says, hey, you need this?
Well, the women that came there, they were like, my husband sent me, and I'm so happy. They were happy that their husband sent them, because what I told them, I was like, would you rather him tell you have trash head or go get his dick sucked somewhere else? Give you the opportunity.
Are those the options?
Yes. I mean, I don't know what other option is there.
Just accept trash head.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, that's an option for some people.
That may be an option for some people, but in my experience, that's a very tiny window. Even if he's very, very discreet about getting head somewhere else.
Dudes will just go somewhere else.
I mean, yeah. From the conversations that I've had with men, if everything is not there, it's cheaper to keep her. So they'll keep the wife, and they want to be connected with their kids still, and they don't want to break up the family dynamic, but they're unsatisfied. So they'll keep something discreet on the side. Just keep it low. Like, nobody has to know this is what's doing. So they'll get that, what is it? 5, 10, 15, 20% somewhere else, and keep the 80% over there. And it's like, I'm going to keep this over here and I'll get this there. So they have more than one. So yeah.
Well,
that's what happens a lot.
So you're helping people.
Yes, I'm helping women keep their man at home.
Yeah, and
keeping a side chick away.
I always say I like to get the knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it, because I think that's why people fail.
Yeah.
I'm usually talking about business knowledge, but hey.
Well, that
now I'm bringing all kinds of knowledge.
That translates to personal and romantic relationships as well.
Folks, you heard it. You better go out and get the book. You better go get the pre-launch. You're going to save a bunch of money on that. Get your gift cards now. Christmas is coming up. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
Folks, go follow her at IMCJ Ryder, RYDER. Go check her out, myryders.com. Till next time, keep it real.
Dropping bombs with the real Bradley. Subscribe